Reverend Dr. Michael Jenkins is co-chairman, along with U.S. Congressman Danny Davis of Illinois, of the Interreligious and International Federation for World Peace in the United States of America. Reverend Jenkins has not only traveled every state in this nation, but he's gone throughout the world. And everywhere he goes, he brings a true American spirit. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Dr. Michael Jenkins.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to go over some fundamentals about why we would like you to become ambassadors for peace. The Ambassadors for Peace program is focused on the fundamental principles of faith and community and family to bring about peace. So we long for an end of conflict. And the founder of the Ambassadors for Peace movement is the Reverend Dr. and Mrs. Sum Young Moon. And there are 5 requirements for world peace that we'd just like to touch upon tonight so that you can understand the principles behind the Ambassadors for Peace and how we have confidence that we can practice these principles in every community to end conflict and bring about reconciliation and love and harmony. These principles are based on universal principles from all the faith traditions. The first is that God is the creator of all humankind. There's one God. And this seems like a simple thing, but actually it is the very root of peace, especially when you look at the Middle East and the relations between Muslims, Christians, and Jews. That barrier is the fundamental barrier blocking us from having more harmony and understanding. Many Christians believe that Allah and the Islamic faith is not really of God. And there's one Christian leader, I won't mention his name, he's not from San Francisco, that said about the Islamic tradition, their God is not my God. Well, there's only one God. Allah, God, Jehovah, one God. That's very fundamental. That's why the ACLC group, as Christian pastors, is very, very important, because they're Christians that kind of went beyond the barriers and really respect Muhammad, peace be upon him, and respect Islam and believe we're coming from one God. So, salam alaikum to all of our Muslim family that are here. Give all the Muslim brothers and sisters a hand. We are one family. God is the creator of humankind and parent of humankind. So all the traditions of faith have this in their holy scriptures. You are the children of the Lord your God in Deuteronomy. Our Father who art in heaven in the Bible. And we must worship Allah in the Quran. The Hadith also teaches from Islam that all creatures are God's children, and those dearest to God are those who treat His children kindly. So compassion, justice, righteousness, truth, and true love, these come from God. Therefore God is the source of peace. And that's why America is the hope of the world in a sense, because America's tradition has always honored God as the spirit that underpins our nation's constitutional principles and our civil rights and equal rights. Isn't that right? Yes. But there's a battle on, isn't there, to allow God to be expressed in the public. We have to really win that battle with love and principle. Second principle that as an ambassador for peace we want you to practice is to understand that humans are essentially spiritual in nature. That our most essential character or element that is important to recognize is that we are beings of the heart. We have hearts, and when you touch someone's heart, you can move them. This is very essential for peace. Therefore, you can go into a gang community in Oakland or in San Francisco. I've gone into the Blackstone Rangers headquarters in Chicago and just met the brothers there. And if you go with love in your heart and with a peaceful understanding, you still might get shot at. But I believe and I've experienced that you don't get killed. They also, when you got the right heart, you have a courageous spirit, so because you're not there for a selfish purpose. And you don't walk up with weapons either. So heart is very important for peace. And we also recognize that we are spiritual beings, but we have our physical needs, and happiness cannot be secured without basic physical needs, food, shelter, wealth, comfort, physical well-being. And yet we really realize that without the fulfillment of our desires for truth, beauty, goodness, and love, we are not happy. That's why there's so much of tribulation and trouble among those who find success in life, become extremely prosperous and successful in their professions and their careers. They have amassed great wealth, and yet they find their families breaking down. Divorce comes into the family. The children get attracted to drugs and immorality. Happiness cannot be secured by wealth alone. Therefore, truth, beauty, and goodness and inner satisfaction is necessary. Therefore, happiness is based not only on the physical fulfillment, but also the inner fulfillment. Without those things, you can't be happy. So this is what Ambassadors for Peace teach, and therefore, encouraging everybody to go to their own church, their own mosque, their synagogue is very important. We encourage you to go to your church and to worship and to experience God and to also strengthen your spiritual life by reading the Holy Scriptures.